Well, somebody's going to have to pull a barb for the failure of Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and other failures from BioWare. It looks like BioWare might be on the chopping block as soon as the EA deal is through. I think it might be through already, but the Saudis are in charge of EA, and they're going to try to make the company profitable. It's I think it's private now. And BioWare and their Dragon Age Veilguard stuff isn't going to cut it. I don't think so. They're looking to sell it off. In this economy, I don't know who you're going to sell it to. I don't know who's going to want this, right? All these AAA studios are tossing employees and studios overboard, developers overboard. They're canceling games. If you said to somebody, hey, you want to give me $1 billion for Dragon Age or whatever, this dead franchise that failed miserably because of the latest installment, which I think was infused with a little Sweet Baby ink, if I remember correctly. But this thing was definitely a DEI train wreck. They chased off the audience. They insulted the audience. And yeah, it's over. It's over, man. Like all of AAA gaming is imploding right now, and you can trace it back to massive overspending and a focus on DEI and hiring a lot of people that really probably shouldn't have been there in the first place because there was a surplus of money. This is what happens when there's a surplus of money. People get stupid. Companies get stupid, and they make dumb decisions. So we're going to talk about this. Not surprising. I know a lot of people were concerned when the Saudis were buying EA and they were going to try to pivot it to profit. They were very, very concerned about The Sims because The Sims definitely has some themes in it that probably won't sit well with the Saudis. And I have to wonder if Warner Brothers isn't going to go down the same path. It's interesting. Zack Snyder posted a picture of himself on the Warner Brothers lot, I think the other day on Instagram. And I think he did it specifically just to troll the James Gunn fans. Be like, look, I'm still here, guys. I'm waiting. I'm just waiting for his contract to expire. So let's talk about Dragon Age, the Veilguard, BioWare, and this potential sale before we get into it any further. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. If you'd like to listen to the audio version of CLOWNFISH TV, you can do that. Look at that. You can do it. You can go out to iTunes, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, wherever you listen to podcasts, Spotify, of course. Check us out over there. We are uploading new podcast episodes every day, and some of them are not on YouTube. So give us a sub wherever you listen to podcasts. Thank you very much. Pirate Nation has it. EA is reportedly thinking about selling BioWare, according to industry insider Mike Straw. The report says EA is looking at ways to reduce costs after its recent Saudi-led acquisition, and BioWare could be one of the studios being considered for a sale. John Douglas says maybe we can get an actual Mass Effect sequel. Flapjack Bear says if they just sell the IP to Larian or Alcap, the series could be saved. Maybe. You need people that care about it. And even the creator of Dragon Age said that ship has sailed. He thinks that the franchise is dead. This is coming from PSU. David Gator, the creator of Dragon Age, has stated during an interview with PC Gamer he firmly believes the franchise is dead after the commercial failure of Dragon Age Veilguard back in 2024. While he feels it's unlikely a new Dragon Age would ever see the light of day while it remains under BioWare, which itself is owned by EA, if there was a chance it would return, he'd be interested in taking it in a dark and dangerous direction. And we're not talking about more sex or anything like that. We're not talking about more non-binary characters in politics. He said we're always one breath away from the current project being shelved. The thing that happened is that we kept releasing games and it would sell much better than they thought it should, and it kept surprising them. If you asked me that in the past, I would say absolutely not. I'd done my time. I left Dragon Age before I left BioWare. After Inquisition came out, I went to Mike Laidlaw and said, I've told all the stories with mages and dragons that I have in me, and I could keep going, but if I keep working on this, it's going to become rote, and I think that would be a disservice to the team. So they're going to take it in a totally different direction. But he said he would love the opportunity to breathe life back into this baby. Yeah, well, good luck with that, because this thing is like dead. Now remember, Dragon Age the Veilguard got crazy political, and it became another one of these hockey pucks in the culture war. But even Forbes was like, Dragon Age the Veilguard's clumsy, preachy political messaging does more harm than good. Of course, we had the non-binary character, and the whole purpose of this character was to kind of be a stand-in for the, well, not kind of, I don't think there was any kind of, to be a stand-in for the author. And we had a whole big coming out scene that people were set into a laugh track because it was so awkward and so clumsy. And it did do a huge disservice to whatever message you're trying to get across. Like, you didn't do very good with it. You really didn't do very good. The game became a laughing stock. It went on sale almost immediately. And it just crashed and burned, right? But then you've got like Vice out here. And again, this is going down memory lane. This has been like 2 years. Players need games journalism now more than ever because of Dragon Age the Veilguard, because we need to make sure everybody knows, what the good games are. Don't listen to the chuds on YouTube. I got to see Dwayne Jenkins. This was 2 years ago. Is Dwayne Jenkins still at Vice? Let's see if Dwayne Jenkins is still at Vice. Waypoint's managing editor. The last thing this person has written was June of 2025. So I think Dwayne Jenkins was trying to save his job. I think he was like, we need games journalists. Really? Yeah. Because he was gone like 6 months after this. And all these outlets are laying people off. Everybody's getting laid off. And they're blaming AI. But really what's going on is the shit's not performing. It's not making money. And, we've got a surplus of people that want to work in the video game industry or in and around the video game industry that really shouldn't be there, whether it's a talent thing or a politics thing or just, nobody likes them or whatever it is. They should not be working in the video game industry. They definitely should not be working on titles like Dragon Age and trying to insert their own OCs and shit into the game because that leads to this. So let's talk about this. What is this? This is the rumor that EA's sale to the Saudis is going to trigger mass layoffs in studios like BioWare. Well, we know what happened at Xbox. They didn't get sold, but they had to cut back. And they're going to look at Microsoft and they're going to be like, look what Microsoft is doing. We can have that too. Don't you want this for us, honey? Don't you want this for us to get rid of all the dead weight so we can actually focus on making games that turn a profit? Sure you do. And that's what's going to happen. The Saudis are going to be like, oh, that's a game with all the non-binary and LGBTQ stuff. Yeah, we don't do that. That's not in our wheelhouse. Get rid of it. EA officially transitioned, sorry, there's so many jokes, from a public to private entity on August 5th, following the closure of its $55 billion acquisition by the Saudis. The transaction ranks among the largest in video game history and now has set off widespread concern over its consequences, which rarely benefit employees. Again, surplus of people making products that players don't want, that they reject, that don't sell well, leads to layoffs. I mean, that's just business 101. Somewhere along the line, the video game industry, the entertainment industry forgot that they were businesses. And it was just like, hey, everybody, let's be diverse and inclusive. Everybody can come in and just do whatever you want and just, F-A-F-O or whatever. Just there's a lot of F-ing all these years, and they were burning all kinds of money, and it's over. It's over. They burnt all this money thinking they were going to get it back, and they never did. According to reporting by Jason Schreier at Bloomberg, the post-sale landscape for EA's workforce appears increasingly bleak. While the company's EBITDA stands at roughly $1.5 billion, a figure that would theoretically cover interest payments on the deal, internal sources have revealed that EA has already signaled to debt investors its intent to implement $700 million in cost reductions described internally as organizational efficiencies. Schreier has said this most likely means mass layoffs in the next 6 to 12 months. I don't even think it's going to take that long. I think they're going to look at the bottom line and be like, okay, these games performed and these games did not perform. BioWare can be sold off. EA's underperforming studios and IP. BioWare, once a powerhouse in Western role-playing games, is now navigating its most challenging period, stands out. Journalist Mike Straw of Insider Gaming, who previously reported on the potential sale of BioWare, has reinforced those concerns, asserting that it's highly probable EA will sell studios and franchises to balance its finances. It should be noted that BioWare currently has a new Mass Effect title in development, but the studio has struggled with waning interest in former blockbuster franchises such as Need for Speed and Dead Space. Why are they not mentioning Dragon Age? Because I think Dragon Age the Veilguard had more to do with this, right? I'm just saying. This person says, so there's a chance we can retcon the DEI fanfic project and get an actual Dragon Age 4. Lucius Kane says, people need to stop thinking any of the infected still has a chance. The rot has cleaned out any semblance of the ingenuity that once made brand. Your loyalty to the name was never on their board when they decided to push their perversion. People are blindly loyal to brands, and even when those brands change hands, I didn't mean to rhyme that, but even when they do, look at Disney, look at Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, when it's very clear that the thing that has been acquired is no longer the same company, or that they have strayed very far from what their original goal was, or the original creatives are no longer at the company. We're looking at you, Halo. Just all the way around, and people reject those games. Again, we're looking at you, Halo. Campaign evolved, all the way around. You don't have an obligation to buy the shit anymore. You don't, because it's not the same thing. Sometimes our favorite things, our favorite movies, our favorite games, our favorite comic books exist in a bubble. They, all the stars align for a brief period of time, and in most cases, that period of time is only a couple of years. It might be 2 to 5 years or whatever. Like even all the 80s stuff that like never went away for some reason. Its heyday was like a lot of stuff was like 2 to 5 years. Transformers were really big from like 84 to 86. And actually, for those of you who weren't there, the movie started the death process of Transformers, because they killed off all the main characters and they introduced a bunch of new toys, which sucked, and people didn't like it. And then you could see kind of like the Transformers just kind of falling off a cliff over the next couple of years. After Headmasters, it was all kind of downhill from there. And He-Man was like 3 years, all this stuff has its day in the sun. And I think it's the same with video games. If you look at now, it's like, oh yeah, the game was, Halo 1 through 3 were really good. And then after that, it just fell off a cliff because you had different people working on it or whatever. But it happens. None of these franchises, none of these games were meant to last for 20 years, 30 years, 40 years. This person says, I hope they sell off Anthem. The IP had potential and BioWare just took the money and walked away. Well, these games cost too damn much because they have too many people. And a lot of these people don't need to be there. I mean, let's be real. This person says, again, I'm surprised they kept BioWare after Anthem. I figured they would have canned BioWare or at least clean house. Here we are. If they sell BioWare, they better get to take the IP too. I wouldn't be surprised if EA kept them, though. Well, I could be. They could sell the company and keep a couple things that are profitable. This person says, I can't fucking believe, I can, but not really. These clowns put this goofy-ass trans homosexual garbage in Dragon Age. His words, not mine. What a fucking miserable timeline. Nobody bought it. This person says, to be fair, that stuff was already in the universe before Veilguard was made. Has nothing to do with why Veilguard bombed so hard. No, that actually it has a lot to do with why Veilguard bombed so hard. People looked at it and they're like, well, this is the Tumblr-ish looking most Tumblrific looking Dragon Age I've ever seen. And they didn't buy it. And all the conversation was about was how woke the game was. Right? And people will overlook that stuff, the woke stuff, if the game is good. Again, look at Baldur's Gate 3. I would say there's definitely some woke stuff in Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, you can fuck a bear for crying out loud, right? I mean, is that woke? I don't know. Is that considered woke, fucking a bear? I don't know. I have no idea. I'm old. I have no idea. I have not even thought of that. So is that what all the kids are doing now? Fucking bears? So, but the game was good. The game was really good. And the conversation was about how good the game was, not all the DEI talking points. Whereas in this game, all the clips that were circulating. It wasn't the combat. It wasn't the main storyline. It was all the coming out to my parents and pulling a barf because of whatever and making sure you use proper pronouns on the character. That's what people associated with Dragon Age the Veilguard. And it really felt like it was edutainment, like a very special episode of an RPG, you know, right? And people don't want it. They don't want that now. Like, you have a trans character, whatever, in the game, whatever. You know, whatever. Make the character good. But if the character's entire personality is, you know, my parents hate me because I'm different and I got to navigate the pronoun stuff, then that's in a fantasy game. Who gives a shit? You got horns coming out of their head. You know, it's like, who cares what the hell's between your legs? Who gives a shit? You've got horns coming out of your head. Whatever. Let's go kill stuff. I don't know. So there it is, guys. I think it's going to get chopped. Definitely. Going to wrap this one up. Please subscribe. We will talk later.